My child's upstairs, so far so good.
I don't know where my kids are. I think they're in the playroom making Lego, and probably one of them's playing video games.
Yeah. Hello, and welcome to the Homestay Kitchen with me, Mary Chan, and Erin Eastman. This is a podcast where we serve up stories of being a homestay family, the ups and downs of making a connection with international homestay students. We'll bring a plate full of stories, ideas, interviews, and hopefully dish up some anecdotes to share with our community. Hello, hi, long time no chat. I know, we went on break and then we were scheduled to come back in early March, but the pandemic struck. So now we are all physically distancing, staying at home, and the Homestay Kitchen had to rework the podcasting schedule to fit our new routine, as Erin and her family are back at her house, and me, I am back at my house, and we aren't getting together to record new episodes. In the meantime, we thought we'd just check in with you. How are you doing? Erin is the multitasker extraordinaire, working from home while maneuvering all 5 of her kids, which does include the 2 students that she still has with her. And me, I'm also navigating working from home while everyone else is also home, so finding a new routine has been quite challenging. So in this episode, Erin is at her house with our emergency microphone, and we recorded this conversation over the internet to make sure we were still social distancing. We wanted to pass along how we were doing, what the homestay situation has been like for us and people we know, and finally, what to do if you do still have students with you in this ever-evolving situation. All our families are healthy and safe, and so we hope yours are too. Please let us know how you are, and if you do have a student with you, how you are all holding up. You can email us at homestaykitchen@gmail.com or leave us a voice note over on Instagram. So stay strong, and we hope this episode can be a bit of light for you during this unprecedented time in our lives. Hello, Erin.
Hello, Mary.
It's been a long while.
A long time. Like, I just don't even know, but so long.
Yeah, because we took the break and then we were going to come back and we were scheduled to come back.
We had plans.
Yeah. We recorded a whole bunch of episodes.
Recorded a whole lot of episodes that seem a whole, kind of silly.
The ones with the interviews are still good. We'll still release those one day. And a lot of it just doesn't work anymore. For example, I was all excited and telling you that we've booked our flights to Japan.
You're going to Japan! Yay!
And that's not happening anymore.
It can't happen anymore.
In the world of the pandemic and the coronavirus, everything has changed.
A lot of things have changed. I take it you're not going to Japan this month or next month. And you're probably not hosting a Japanese student either right now.
That's what we talked about. I said, I'm having my first student in a very long time. I'm so excited. She's also from Japan. We were talking about all of this stuff over email. And then before the beginning of March, because she was supposed to be here for the month of March, her university canceled, which made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
The free fall, too, of the entire homestay industry has kind of been put on hold. I feel like it's all in limbo, right? You still have students, though. Like, there are still students
today, yes,
abroad.
But it's very fluid. It's a daily decision whether we still have students every day.
Yeah, it happened too with my sister. She had 2 students who arrived for the beginning of March, one from Japan and one from Korea. And everybody's healthy and fine, but one week, they're both saying, no, we want to stay. We're both happy to be here. And then the next week, the Japanese student says, I'm flying home tomorrow. They feel safe to be here in Canada, where we are. What about your students?
My students, I host a student who is Italian from Northern Italy. The situation in her home country is incredibly scary. We're all reading the news and what's happening there and taking the lead from Italy and hearing what's coming out of there. And so we personally just in our home are just in lockdown. We're taking it so seriously and we're just not really seeing people. And yeah, I have 5 kids and we are,
That's tough.
it is tough, but we are very mindful of our grandparents and wanting to keep them safe as well. And we're not really going out, but in terms of the students, the natural parents want them to stay here. I want them to stay here. It's a very fluid situation, meaning that I think I talk to our homestay coordinator probably every day, most days, in terms of the situation, because a lot of the students are going back home. It's their coordinators and the program's desire, where possible, for them to go back home just because of what's happening with the flights.
Yeah. All the flights just being canceled now.
Yeah.
There's almost no way to get on an airplane to get to where you need to go.
Yeah. And not every student may be following the rules. There's strict curfews. The kids have to be home at 6 o'clock every night. Yeah. And I also have a Japanese student too. And it's right now her wish and her parents' wish for her to remain here. And when I think about my kids possibly going home, like, it just makes me so nervous for them to have to navigate how to get a flight home, what that looks like on an airplane situation. Are those airplanes packed? Could they potentially be bringing or catching coronavirus and bringing it home to their families? They would have to self-quarantine at home. What does that look like at home to quarantine themselves away from their families even? It just makes me feel so nervous for them. And of course, I'm a huge mama bear. And like, you know me. And so I've even said to our coordinator, look, like, we'll host them as long as needed, even if that means past their time where they would normally be staying with us, to get everyone through this. Like, we will, it's not even a problem. So that's what I've said. And the girls they're happy to be at home with us, however boring that may be. We've made sock monkeys yesterday, and it's a 2-day project. So
that is
like, I'm
not
just trying
boring.
no, but I'm trying to find things and projects to do. We've said, okay, well, what skill do you want to learn? Do you want to sew? Do you want to knit? I can teach you.
Exactly.
Do you want cuisines? What cooking do we want to do together? And I've even said, pick a puzzle or croquenot for the table. Like, what are we putting out on it? And they can't choose. They can't decide. I'm like, nope, you've got to decide. So we don't have anything out on it yet. But just trying to find activities to fill and do things together. There's great Just Dance. We're going to start that up again. Or, I did break down and buy Disney Plus for the kids.
I know, we were thinking about that too. Like, do we break down and get Netflix or Disney Plus?
Do it. You'll never find a more perfect time. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And to rediscover those classics together is really fun.
That's
like
true.
Gummy Bears. Did you ever watch that show as a kid?
Oh, yes.
It's on
Gummy
there.
bears here and there, bouncing everywhere.
See, the theme song, we know it. And like all of those cartoons that you used to watch as a kid, you can watch with Kira and introduce to her. Like, it's a really perfect time to watch Disney Plus. Anyway.
We are actually in like full on self-isolation because I was connected to a positive case in the city indirectly, but we are still taking all the precautions and not going outside at all. Like last week, it was a beautiful day. We had gone out to a walk. Well, like, we're not even doing that. If we're going outside, we're only in our backyards. And so I'm thinking this might be the time to get Netflix and Disney Plus.
It absolutely is the time, Mary. You'll never have another time like this.
Yeah. And I think too, if I had a student, I would also go that route. It's kind of like when we're hosting normally anyway. We're always trying to find a creative solution to communicate, entertain, and keep them busy.
Yeah, and try and keep it fun. Because I think kids say in the future, I'm bored. We'll be like, you think you're bored? You think you're bored? When I was a kid, we were not allowed to go outside for 3 months. So don't tell me that you were bored. Right? Like, it's going to be that generation's like, I had to walk in the snow uphill 2 miles. Like,
yes,
it's going to be
that will be this generation's
story. And I just think that they'll look to us for like how to remain positive and how to get through it. It doesn't have to be this dire, you turn on the news, scary time. We just need to look through to get through the fun. So if Disney Plus can do that for you, I think it's a wise investment.
Yeah. This is also a really good time to learn a new skill or something, right? If you've been wanting to try your hand at cooking, you already have some supplies at your home. If you can't get out to get them, try new recipes. I'm doing more sewing. I mean, I already know how to sew, but I've been doing more of it because I am primarily a knitter. So trying to do more sewing, trying to do different things. Our garden is actually looking pretty darn good right now
Yeah.
because John is out there weeding and gardening when we normally don't have this time to do it.
And isn't weeding a great way to get rid of that stress? You can just pull some things out of the ground and shake the dirt off of it.
Yes.
But going back to sewing, like if you're running out of materials to sew, like upcycling old clothing,
old t-shirts
and jeans. I love cutting up jeans, and jeans look great with everything.
Awesome. That's a good tip. As a society, I think we were way too comfortable of the convenience, right? And I don't think people were able to use their creativity, which people are using now. They're going to have to, right?
Well, I think we're appreciating community as well, too. Community and creativity. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that was the other aspect of, I thought, recording this episode too, is to still have that bit of community, because we did go MIA, and this really also affects us and our community and all the students that we host.
Mhm.
You know, how are they doing? Where are they? Did they leave? Like, what's going on with you? Right. So
Yeah.
if you want to reach out to us, we would love that. I want to hear your stories. How was the flight home if you ended up going home as a student? If you are a homestay host, how many students do you have with you now? You can leave us a message on email at homestaykitchen@gmail.com, or we're on Instagram if you wanted to leave a voice note with us there, and we can always play it on a future episode.
I know that a lot of students have unfortunately gone home. I say unfortunately because it wasn't their plan, right?
Exactly. It wasn't
home.
something they wanted to do. But there are still students here, like you yourself have some, and my sister. And so we still need to create a safe space for them too.
Yeah, I can understand why they, want to go home and be with their natural parents during a scary time, or if schools are closed and they're not sure what the program is going to be.
A lot of the programming has gone online.
It will go online. Like for the school district, it hasn't quite yet. This all happened right before spring break. It will come back soon. Everyone's kind of scrambling right now to get programs in place. In terms of people deciding to go online, some are deciding to go home. In terms of people deciding to go home, some of them, the decision was made and they are on a plane the next day. For the students left behind, you couldn't really do that goodbye, right? And if you did a goodbye, it certainly wasn't a hug.
Virtual hug. Look, I can do a virtual hug now with you, Erin.
I thought of you about that. I was like, oh, well, Mary. Mary and her virtual hugs. Yay.
Yay. I'm giving those out a lot these days.
I think we are going to see a lot of, for the homestay hosts left behind, it's just so important to just really lean in and check in on your students, because they may be putting a brave face on it for you. But if you lean in and you just ask a few questions, they just really need our support right now. Because for those friends that have left, it's like the first semester all over again. I'm finding, if you're hosting long-term like me anyway, after the first semester, a bunch of friends will have gone. Yes, they got to say goodbye and they knew they were going. But for the ones right now that just left, there's a lot of feelings around that, and whether or not they feel safe or comfortable to open up about it. But if you lean in and ask, there's a lot of feelings there. And
they probably feel a little isolated and alone.
Right. And you layer that on top of the worry for what's going on with their families back home.
So you were saying to ask the questions. What kind of questions are you asking?
How are you doing? How many of your friends are still here? Are you okay? How are you doing today? Over a cup of tea, over whatever, or not, over the laundry.
Over the daily tasks.
Over the daily tasks and being together, because guess what? You're cooped up together.
Yeah. There's nowhere else to go. You're going to have to talk to me.
But just don't let them just stay alone in their rooms, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Check in.
Mm-hmm. Find something to do together.
And they're all going to have to come down for food together too. So even at the dinner table,
make some pancakes.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Chocolate chip pancakes.
Right? Just please check in on them, because this is a scary time.
And that's what we're doing too. We're checking in on you, the community.
Mm-hmm.
So because we are not in communication as much and we can't leave the house, we can continue recording our episodes online.
Oh, yeah.
But because with all our kids at home, our episodes probably won't be as frequent as we normally do. So we'll pop in every now and then.
Yeah, we can do that. There might be, you might find a screaming kid or just an interrupting kid, and you'll have to just give us some grace, guys. Give us grace.
I know. So yeah, we'll be around, but let's check in with everybody online. So yes, thank you for listening to this episode, and podcasts are a great way to connect with your community and hear a familiar voice. So we'd love to hear from you too.
Yes, and thank you. And we just hope everybody is just staying safe and taking care and staying healthy.
Exactly. So we'll chat soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Homestay Kitchen, hosted by Mary Chan and Erin Eastman. Produced by me, Mary Chan of Organized Sound Productions. Web and show notes by Erin Eastman. Like what you're hearing? Write us a review wherever you listen. Or drop us an email at homestaykitchen@gmail.com. We would really appreciate it. For more information on this episode, visit homestaykitchen.com. And when you're ready to dish up your stories, connect with us on Instagram at Homestay Kitchen or on Facebook. Thanks for joining us.